Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Pit Talk, Pulling Pits and Opinions with your host, Gunny G, where service members help service members, period. Follow, like, subscribe everywhere you get your podcast and on all social media platforms. Let us know how we're doing. Any criticism is good criticism, and we enjoy it. We got a special guest, I believe, probably one of the most special guests that I'm going to have on doing this hobby, Lynette George. She's based out of Silverdale, Washington, I'm assuming, but she's going to say hello here in a second. And it's a very exciting show. Lynette, please say hello.
Hi, Gunny. Hi, everyone.
Yeah. Hello. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your service to service members. I would like to address first, and I add first, what you do does not go unnoticed, obviously, down the road, right? So that's you. Your name is on every single banner that gets put up there. So I do appreciate that. In the short 15 years that I've been in, but even just as an adult, I've never seen that before. And again, I haven't been home, so I don't know if they do that at home, but I've never seen that before. Any duty station that I've been to. So I do appreciate what you're doing. We're going to get into right now the Blue Banner program, but before we get to the good stuff, Lynette, please share where you're from, how long you've been in, how you're affiliated with the military, what got you to Silverdale here.
Sure. I'm originally from Wisconsin. I'm a big Packer fan. I joined the Navy back when I was 16 years old on the delayed entry program, and I went on active duty at 18, and I only did 4 years because back then they didn't really care about having females in the military. I had a baby, and they wanted me to leave them with family for a year, and he was 2 weeks old. And so it was also my time to get out, so that's what I decided to do. And I stayed with the Navy. I worked for the Navy for 33 extra years. So I retired 5 years ago at 37 years with the Navy. I was a finance manager. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Continue.
So I was on TDY, sent down to San Diego, and my daughter-in-law decided to join me. Her husband was in Iraq for the second time, and it happened to be during their wedding anniversary. And so she came down with me. And we went to pick up one of my son's battle buddies that had just gotten out of the Army. And we were taking him to Universal Studios. The street that he lived on had these street banners lined up down the road that he lived on. And both of us just started crying. It really resonated with me. And I couldn't stop thinking about it. Even when I came home, it just stuck with me. Why don't we do that up here in Washington to honor our military? And so I started out going to the cities, trying to get them to do the program, which is what happens down in California. It's kind of the monkey see, monkey do, but the cities did it for their military. And as being a budget officer for the Navy, I knew that funds were tight with the cities. And so I decided to start a nonprofit. So back in 2006 is when I actually got it up and running and started. I had gone to a few military organizations, the sub-vets and American Legions and the combat vets, and they all gave me some seed money to get going. And so we raised our first banners in 2006. And so we put all of our Gold Star banners up prior to the Blue Star banners. And for those that don't know, a Blue Star banner is for those that are currently on active duty and that are from the area. And then the Gold Stars are those that have died on active duty. And those banners remain up forever.
Lynette, absolutely. Quick question for you before we continue. Are you, and I'll edit this part out, are you on Wi-Fi or are you on your service?
I'm on Wi-Fi.
Okay. Then it's just me. Don't worry about it. I'm going to edit this part out.
You're breaking up a lot for me.
And continue. Go ahead. Yes, it's going to happen for me. Don't worry about mine. I promise you it'll be
Okay.
good.
What else should I say?
Go ahead. So continuing, I'm sorry to interrupt. I apologize. And then thank you. You're sharing about the Blue Banner program and then the Gold Star Banner program. So the difference between, before we get there, obviously it's a monkey see, monkey do program. So you saw what it is in San Diego, in California, and you kind of wanted to mirror it here in Silverdale, Washington, or just in the Pacific Northwest.
Correct.
Was there a little bit of pushback at first, or was it everybody was on board?
There was extreme pushback at first. I was shocked at how it did take me a while to get it going. We had some mayors in the area that said, well, we do the Armed Forces Day Parade. And I'm like, you think one day a year is enough to honor our military? And so then I would start sending them pictures of our lovely military sleeping in the sands of Iraq and I quickly changed their mind, and I've not had any pushback since. I never did get the program approved up in Whidbey Island, and I never got the program approved in Port Townsend. The commissioners, the commissioners of Jefferson County ended up approving me. And so if you go up into that area, we're on Highway 19 and Highway 20 going into Port Townsend. So we got approved for the county, but not for Port
Yes, makes
Townsend
sense. That's
itself.
correct. Interesting. It leads me to my next question. Why is this so important to you to do and continue to
Well,
perform?
I was one of the parents that were very lucky. I had 2 sons in Iraq twice. My son was only on active duty for 5 years, but he had signed up for only 3. He just kept getting extended because of the war. And I was fortunate to have both of my sons come home. Both are disabled veterans now. But I just felt like being in the military and under quiet circumstances when I was in, um, I felt like we just do not honor our military like we should. We don't, I think the civilian sector doesn't quite understand what the military does go through on a daily basis.
Interesting. And you're kind of just shedding light to that. I do appreciate that. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of guts. Do you continue to get some pushback now that you're kind of settled
Well,
in?
I'm not trying to expand the program anymore. It is a daunting task to stay on top of them with our weathers. So I've not tried to expand the program. I'm just keeping the current 4 counties. We're in Clallam, Jefferson, Mason, and Kitsap County. And so I'm just maintaining that. We have since bought a bucket truck. I've had my bucket truck for probably 5 years now in order to install the banners, because for a while there we were installing by a ladder. And that is definitely not a safe way to be installing our banners.
Right. So interesting. And I know it's you said it was daunting. So I mean, for one person, it seems like a taxing task. And the bandwidth seems maybe not there. But do you have any volunteers, or do you take
No,
volunteers
no one is
for the
paid.
program?
We are totally 100% volunteer organization. And right now, 100% of us are veterans. I have a good install team. There's 4 of us all together that install, mostly for safety. So I have that good team. I had a very good graphic artist that helped me design the banners for each person and take care of my website, but she has since retired. So I have taken on that task of learning how to be a web designer and a graphic designer. So it's been a challenge, but you know what? I feel like if you're not learning, you're dead, right?
That's true. That's true. Jack of all trades, master of none. All right. So, well, I'll continue because I'm fascinated. I've seen some of a couple of people I work with. David Fedor is up there, and retired Captain Wesley Rice is up there. And I was like, wait, where did they get that from? And I was always interested. I was always passing through. I'm like, I wonder how they got there. But they're from Washington. Obviously, I looked at the website. They were from Washington. Their home of record had to been
Mhm.
here. That made sense. And I had to, after I seen David Fedor's banner, I had to reach out. And so I reached out, and your response was prompt. And then me asking you to come on the podcast is
Yes,
this
I've
your
never
first
been on
time?
a pod.
So I'm excited for you. I'm sure you're excited as well, Lynette, to share the Blue Banner program. Do you ever think about expanding past where you're at now?
No. My goal was to be all over Washington when I started this program. But like I said, volunteers, to be honest with you, if something better comes along, they're gone. And this is the first time I've ever really had a secure, good set of volunteers that I know are there for me and with me. So
Mm,
it's been exciting because we've had enough people to even do parades. So my idea is every single military that's from this area have a banner. That's all I would love to see happen. And I know it's not for everyone. I think if I was on active duty, I don't think I'd want one anymore. But some people love
yeah.
them, and the families, it's mostly for the families and they love them. I have some Gold Star moms that tell me that on the birthday of their son or daughter, they go to the banner and have a picnic, and they just feel closer to them.
Wow, that's deep. Don't make me cry, Lynette. You're gonna get me
I
all
usually do
emotional.
cry.
Marines don't cry. Stop it. That's crazy. How do you feel connected in an indirect way to every single service
Yes,
member
I
that's
feel
up
like
right
they're
now?
my family. I do hear
Mm,
stories. I do get pictures sent in the mail. I get a lot of thank yous. I just feel like once they put in a banner application, they're also my kid. And so that's why I like to keep our banners pristine, try and stay on top of them. If a storm has taken them down, I try and get them replaced as soon as possible. Because this is such a big task, especially having a bucket truck that's 35 years old, every time I take it out, I end up having to take it to the bucket truck doctor. So I have three wonderful fundraisers that I
It's
do a
funny.
year. I do the Paulsville Beer Run. That's for St. Patty's Day and for Oktoberfest. And so we have the St. Patty's, we're getting ready to open registration in a few weeks. That will be on March 15th. And then we have the Oktoberfest, which will be on October 4th. And then we just had our second annual Paulsville Bloody Mary crawl. So you go between the restaurants downtown in Paulsville and have a Bloody
Interesting.
Mary at each, and then you vote for the favorite. And that has turned out to be a great addition to Paulsville.
Yeah. Postal's got a lot of alcoholic beverages, so to speak. It seems like it's the place to go for those type of beverages. That's awesome. Do you ever how did you get plugged into those festivals?
Well, the Paulsville Beer Run, back when they first started, I had a marketing manager that was a volunteer, and he was good friends with one of the brewery owners, and she had come up with the idea. Her name is Shauna Lambert. She owns Slippery Pig. She came up with the idea, and it was just between three little breweries, and I was the recipient of the funds that they would raise. And right when I retired, the Liquor Control Board decided I had to be the one that actually hosted the event as the nonprofit that receives the money. So it has been my event since 2019. And then I had gotten some people requesting that I do the Bloody Mary crawl. So I started that 2 years ago now.
Interesting. Kind of a
Yep.
domino
Yep.
effect almost. That's good. That's good. Look, and I tell you what.
The beer
Go
run
ahead, go
has
ahead.
been going on for 13 years now, and we just hit 1,600 participants for the St. Patty's Day beer run. So it's going very well. In fact, I just got an email this morning
Heck
from
yeah.
somebody that wants to fly in for it and wants to make sure of the date. So it's gotten nationwide with the military that have transferred. They come back, or family members that come in specifically for the beer run.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Do you ever consider doing anything other than alcoholic
No, I'm
beverages
supposed to be retired.
or type of not volunteer events or runs, things of that nature?
No, I'm supposed to be retired, and I'm working full time with all of this. I'm also a treasurer for our church, and
Oh,
I'm a treasurer for our road maintenance association. So I'm pretty topped out.
yeah, yeah. It sounds like it. That bandwidth is getting stretched pretty good. Well, I mean, I tell you what, I do appreciate you keeping the program up because if it wasn't for you, I mean, who would do it? Who cares that much?
And that is where I am leading. I am doing SOPs for the process of all of it, the fundraisers and the websites and everything. I'm hoping that I can find a strong volunteer that will step up in case something happens to me. So it continues to happen.
Nice. Well, I'll be praying for that because it sounds like you stay very busy maintaining, marketing, just staying involved with the community. It sounds, especially as a volunteer, I mean, you're thinking, I'm not really making money to pay my bills, but it's not about the money. It's about the message and the legacy you leave behind, the traditions that these service members leave behind. So good luck. I hope that you find somebody who'll be praying for you for sure.
Thank you.
Oh boy, absolutely. Continue. I mean, the Blue Banner program, did it start off Blue Banner or start off with Gold Star, or you kind of just mixed the both and just kind of hit it?
I kept with the World War II. That's where it came from, to put those in the windows. So yes, it was both the Blue Star and Gold Star banner program. And it's just that I wanted to respect the families, and we put up the Gold Stars first. And we had a ceremony, and the ceremony would be as small as just the family there. It was whatever the family wanted, as to having a commissioner there, giving speeches and bands and the whole 9 yards and tap. So they were some very emotional few weeks of putting up these banners for the Gold Star families.
That's crazy. That's awesome. Well, first, that you can provide that service to them because it not only means something to the family, but it should mean something to the community because it came from the community. That's awesome. It's a good message to send that, hey, just so you know, these guys are roaming around or their families are roaming around, say hello. It means a lot to the family, I'm sure. So, Lynette, the the Gold Star. How often do you, before I get, how many banners are there in the current area that you have
I
going on?
believe we have about 560 banners up.
And you want more?
My goal was the very first year having 1,000 up. I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah, I just feel like every single person that's from this area that's in the military need to be recognized, and that is my goal.
I hope that the next volunteer has that same goal, that same mindset.
Me too.
Just progress, but it never
have to
stops, never
find
stops.
somebody very strong.
I see why. Look, if you ever need volunteers, just to volunteer, just let us know. Let me know. You got my email, you got my number, you got all those, you got my information. So please, I'm sure the Marines would more than happy to be volunteering for this type of nonprofit and just assist you in any way possible. Honestly, I don't know how we can assist you, but I'm sure that I can find some Marines and sailors that be like, hey, yeah, I'm from this area. I would love to help out. I'm sure I could find some.
I would love that. And yeah, just to me, if you pass the word and have that person pass the word, that's my best request. Biggest request, I should say.
You know what? I'll tell you what. Since I'm currently stationed in Washington, it is my goal to get you another
Thank
440.
you. Thank you.
And if I don't hold me to it, because it's that I don't know who I'm going to get up, but I'm pretty sure I can get you probably the people that are from here, and I know quite a bit of Marines that are from Washington, even sailors as well. So I'm sure that I can make it happen.
And I really need to get back out to the recruiting departments and the state recruiting stations, because I know that that is a good start, is those that are going into active duty. But it's so hard because they change out so often, frequently, to keep my name and information there at the office. So that's my goal, is to keep honoring every single military man or woman that's serving our country.
Your sons, they both went to Iraq. You said Afghanistan as well. Do you, how do they feel about the program? Do they love it? Do they help
They don't
you out?
help me out. Neither one of them are in the area, but they do love it. I didn't get banners up for them because it didn't get approved until they got out, but they do love it.
Where are they at now?
My son lives over in the middle of nowhere by Spokane, and my other son lives down in Longview
I have no idea where that's
by
at.
Portland.
Okay. I see. Not big features. Okay. Well, I would love to have, if you would in mind, I mean, love to have a conversation with your sons. That obviously they were raised right by you, ma'am. So they're doing the right things, joining the right branches, you know. But the floor is yours, Lynette. The last day of rounds. I know this was short. I didn't mean to take too much of your time. I was just interested in the program. I wanted to get the word out there as much as possible. Please, the floor is yours for any last day of rounds. Where can they reach you at? How can they reach you at? How do they pay?
Sure.
Things of that sort.
My website is bluestarbanner.org. And if they're interested in the fundraisers, it's pulsebobeerrun.com. And you can contact me from either of those websites. My telephone number's plastered all over them also, on my truck and my bucket truck. So, yeah, I just would love for people to spread the word, come out and do the Pulsebo Beer Run or the Pulsebo Bloody Mary Crawl this year. And again, for that information, it's pulsebobeerrun.com.
Thank you, Lynette. I appreciate your time, your service to other service members, and giving back to the community. I do got to bring it back in, weave it back in. I know that you transitioned a while back, and your son's transition. I mean, I don't know how long they've since been in the military, but tell me about that transition for you and for your children.
It was difficult for both of them. My son that lives down in Longview was very stressed out about the situation that he had been in, and he went to the hospital in the middle of the night because he had chest pains, and they kept telling him to go home. It was just anxiety, and he refused to go home. He said, if there's something, and he collapsed and actually died in the lobby. And of course they brought him back, but he had a massive heart attack. My other son has PTSD severely and had some injuries due to, he's I don't think it's called sharpshooter, but he's a really good shoot. And so he was the one that had to carry the gun, and he's like half the size of most of the men that were in the military. And so he did some damage to his muscles in his back that they can't repair. So he's going to be going through some difficulties when he gets older on even maintaining a job.
And how do they still struggle now?
Yeah, they still struggle. I think it's kind of a lifetime struggle.
Wow. Interesting. That doesn't give me any give me hope when I retire. But
you know what? You make your choices too.
But I'll tell you what, ouch. That's good. Yeah. Everything comes at a cost. How have you supported them thus far since their
Um,
transition out?
I would do anything for either one of them. And I think it helps because I was a mom or I was in the military myself. Not that I have any idea the experiences that they went through, nor do I want to know the graphic details. It's easier for me to understand about being away from family and going through the struggles that you go through as the military. So I think that helps. Been there and done whatever they've needed me to help them with.
And it's a good message to send to families that, may not necessarily be in the military, but have transitioning service members just be available. It's a good message to send out, Lynette. I think from the outside looking in, it's been a while for you. I know that. And can you provide some insight there? Provide something for the families that are struggling with service members that transitioning from uniform to civilian. How can they be available? What tools helped you
Well,
out?
really, the VA, just reaching out to them and getting the resources that they can help with, getting the education using your GI Bill. My son did that, and he is now an owner of a diesel company that he had founded. And so he's doing very good. I think really just standing beside them and listening to them, not trying to fix them because you can't fix them. You just need to guide them in the direction that for the people that can fix them.
That's good. That's good. Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you for that message. Thank you for that. For those families that are struggling with service members that are transitioning from uniform to civilian, just be available. From Lynette's mouth, she's got the experience. She's got two children, two sons that came from the greatest organization in the world, the Marines. No pun intended, or no shots fired, or anything like that. But Lynette, thank you for your time. Thank you for your service and continued service without expectation. It's amazing to find people like you. And I just fortunate enough to take your time and tell your story. Brief story, but it was my complete pleasure. Thank you. Lynette, to be honest, I'm a loss for words. I have so much up here that I can't get out of my mouth. It's ridiculous. Thank you for the program. If I was from mid-Washington, I promise you I'd be in there, but I'm definitely going to spread the word. So thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Pit Talk, pulling pits and opinions with your host, Gunny G, where service members help service members, period. Follow, like, subscribe everywhere you get your podcasts and on all social media platforms. Let us know how we're doing. Any criticism is good criticism, Lynette and Gunny G. We're out. See you later, Lynette. I'm gonna hit you up here after it kind of drops out. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Stand by, contact. Ceasefire. Stand by, contact. Ceasefire.
Pit Talk is a podcast featuring active service members who discuss their thoughts and opinions on various issues surrounding military life, current events, and history. The statements heard here are the opinions of its members and guests. These do not necessarily reflect the views of the Department of Defense and are not endorsed or sponsored in any way. Listener, viewer discretion advised.